On this part, we are going to design the home page, and in the home page, you can see that we have two main sections. On the first section, we have an image here on the left and then some text here on the right. And on the other section, we have this form, which has just one input field, and on the right, it has a button. So let us go to Visual Studio and start creating this page. In here, I'll just go to the index.c#html, and then the first thing that I'll do is that I'll just create the two sections. So this is the first section. And the second one is going to be for the form. To the first section, I'm going to add a Bootstrap class. It's going to be landing and then py, which stands for padding on the y-axis, so up and down. And then I'm going to use the number 5. Then inside here, I'm going to add a div, which has the class container. Class container. And to this div, I'm going to add the class row, so I can use the Bootstrap grid system. Inside the row, I'll just add two divs. So first div is going to be for the image, and I'll just give it 4 columns. And if you don't have experience with Bootstrap, Bootstrap does have a grid system which has 12 columns. So basically, based on the screen width, there are always 12 columns, but based on the screen width, a column has like different width. In this case, I'm just going to give 4 columns. I'm going to give it to the image and 8 columns to the text on the right. Now, Bootstrap is not really the focus of this course. So what I'll do is that I'll just copy some code from a private repository that I have for the final app's design. I'm just going to paste it in here. And then I'm going to walk you through the code. So in here, I have said that the left 4 columns will be for the image and the right 8 columns are going to be for the text. Here on the image, we do expect to load an image from the image folder. So I'll just go to my desktop and copy that image. Just go to the root folder. Then in here, I'm going to create an image folder, img. And as you can see, when you have this wave icon in here, what that means is that it starts to search on the static files folder, which we have said is the root folder. And then inside that folder, it tries to find another folder named image. And then inside that folder, it tries to find, or it would search for the PNG file. Just go in here, right click, and then open folder in File Explorer. I'll just go to my desktop. I'll copy the image and then paste it in here. And if you want, you can change the name to just welcome image, remove the PNG. And then remove the PNG from here as well. Now let us go to the second section. And in the second section, I'll just copy paste some code. Just paste it in here. In here, I've used a custom class named features because I want to also add some custom CSS for the special colors, which are like in an orange color. The same way, then here I use the class container to give some padding on the left and on the right. Then I have this other custom class, and then inside here I have a form. This form does have a class, it does have an ID, and also it has an action, but I can remove the action for now because we're going to create it later. You can also remove the post from here because the forms by default have post as an event. And then everything else looks good. So I can just scroll up in here, and here on the row, I can also center the items. So align items and then center. I'll save the changes. And now I'll just go and add some custom CSS. I'll just go to the Solution Explorer and then go in here to CSS and then Site CSS. I'm just going to remove what I have in here and paste the custom CSS. And I'm going to provide the same code in the GitHub repository, so you can also get the same file and don't have to type all the CSS, but rather focus on the MVC architecture. I'll just save the changes and then I'll run the app just to see the result. You can see that the initial design looks good, but it's way more compact than we want it to be. So what I'll do is I'll just go back to Visual Studio. And then in here in the index, you can see that we have already used the container one time. But if I go to the layout.c# HTML and scroll down in here, we have this div, which has the main and then the render body inside that does have the container again. So I'll just remove it. I'll save the changes. And then I'll just go back to the app. And now you can see that the app looks way better than it was before. Now in the next part, we're going to update the navigation bar and also the footer, so it looks similar to the end product.